Hello everyone and welcome to this new video. I'm Ombra and today we are in a commander guide for Isildur where I'm gonna show you the best way for use him. Isildur is a tier 3 commander of the good faction and his primary role is tank and support. Of course you can use also as troop damage, but it's not worth because the troop damage right now is useless. Overall I didn't suggest you to invest on Isildur because it's not a primary choice. There's a lot of better support and tank on a good faction, but if you for real wanna play them, this is the best way. Starting from the skill, the build at respect 5 have 23 points to assign. You wanna start with 10 points of Last Alliance, a skill that increases the defense of 3 allied formation by 15 points for the first 10 hit received, and in addition at maximum level you're gonna increase the defense of the man by 5 more points. Then you want to place 10 points on Ringbearer that give Isildur 35% chance to avoid every single hit he receive, and that is a very strong skill for a tank, and in addition at maximum level you also gonna have plus 5 of defense for your unit. The final 3 points you want to place on King of all Dunedain to give 15% chance to gain dual blow to your unit each round, but that's work only if you play men and devilmen, but it's not a problem for Isildur because you won't play men on them. At this level you have already the 2 main skill of Isildur, Last Alliance and Ringbearer, so you're already fine with the build. You can be a decent tank, you can be a decent support, you don't excel in nothing, but you are already useful. If you choose to bring them to respect 10, you're gonna have 3 more points to assign on his skill, and you're gonna place all of them in King of all Dunedain to increase the percentage of dual blow to 30%, and also you're gonna increase the initiative of your troop by 5. It's nothing crazy, there's not a lot of difference between an Isildur respect 10 and respect 5 just in terms of skill. The most important change you're gonna have if you have Isildur Zenith 6. In fact, if you increase the respect to Zenith 6 and you have enough point for max 3 skill, you're gonna have to reset the skill of Isildur. You're gonna reassign 10 points on Last Alliance, reassign 10 points on Ringbearer, but then you're gonna place 10 points on Great King instead of King of all Dunedain. From this skill you're gonna gain plus 15 of attack for 3 allied formation for all the battle, but more important you're gonna have minus 10% damage received for your formation, and for a tank it's very strong, in particular because you plan to run on him unit with protection or provoke. The last 3 points of the build you're gonna replace on King of all Dunedain just for a 15% chance to have the second attack for your troop each round. If we talk about the equipment for a commander tank like Isildur, you want to increase your command and also troop defense. You don't care about the other statistics, these two are the all important. For this reason, as a weapon you want a Reckoning which provides 240 of command and 45 of unit defense. As alternative you can think to run the Lang which provide 200 of command and 27 on unit defense. Of course is inferior, but it's a secondary choice you can run on a secondary commander like Isildur. And at epic level you want to run the Cutlass which provide 130 of command and 15 of unit defense. If we talk about the chest, it's the less important piece cause don't provide command. You want to run on them the High Elf Hauberk which provide 48 of unit defense, or the Durin's Plate which provide 36 of unit defense. They are all great, the High Elf is a bit superior but they are similar, and at epic level what you wanna run is the Superior Hauberk which provide 18 of unit defense. As for the helmet, the best in slot is the Casque of Submerged Isle which provide 130 of command and 48 of unit defense. As alternative you can think to run the Arad Casque which provide 120 of command and 42 of unit defense, that are pretty close to the previous one. And at epic level I suggest you to run the Horseman Helmet which provides 70 of command and 18 of unit defense. Instead, as accessory slot you want to run the Silver Harp of Rivendell which provide 120 of command and 42 of unit defense. As alternative you can think to run the Carved Dragon Tooth which provide 120 of command and 27 on unit defense. And at epic level the best is the Drums of Moria which provide 70 of command and 18 of unit defense. Now talking about the set effect, the best for Isildur is Evasive Action because provide 20% of damage reduction in the first 3 rounds, and that is fantastic for a tank that want to receive all the damage in the early phase of the battle. As alternative you can think to run Fortitude which provide 10% damage reduction, only physical damage reduction for all the battle, and as last option you have also Divide and Conquest which provide 2% 30% of base damage reduction, and that gonna increase by 2% each round. This buff is the worst in terms of effectiveness for a tank, cause you're gonna miss the damage reduction where you for real receive a lot of damage in the early game. So in order, Evasive Action, Fortitude and Divide and Conquest are the best 3 bonus for Isildur. The Isildur relic is of course Narsil, and at statistically level provide command, defense, unit defense and unit attack. 2 of these bonus are very good, the other 2 are completely useless, so you want just command and troop defense, and for this reason and also for the fact that Isildur is not a prime commander, I suggest you to don't strength and don't waste your item for improved Narsil. Talking about the skill of the unique, the Sun and Moon Splendor, we're gonna have 2 options. If the army is entirely composed by men, Isildur gonna have 30% chance every time inflict a basic attack to inflict madness to the target. Instead, if the army is composed by men and elf, you're gonna have 50% chance to remove 1 buff from the enemy attack by Isildur. So in particular, if you're composed full of men, 30% of madness is not so bad, is a good control, and for this reason I think it's worth to refine this unique and have that at 30%. Talking about unit, we already say that Isildur is a tank, so you want tank unit and you want unit with protection or provoke. The best unit for them is a medium unit called Swan Knight, a T4 of Gondor, that is super resistant, have a lot of HP and have a skill for protect the allied in the first couple of rounds, plus is also a many units so synergize perfectly with the R5 and also with the unique. A secondary choice, you can think to run the Ranger of the North. If you are not from Gondor, this is another option that is a man and also have a protection for other unit. Of course they are inferior of Swan Knight, but if you didn't have the Swan Knight, this is the second best choice. As big unit, if you play an RP, you can think to run the Great Beast or the Mountain Troll. They both have the possibility to protect from basic attack the allied in the first 3 rounds. They are also very tanky for HP and defense, but they are not men, so they are not synergized with the unique. So I suggest to play them only if you don't plan to use the unique. If we talk about the commander I suggest to play with Isildur, the first one is Gandalf the White, because provide the elemental damage reduction that Isildur miss. Isildur boosts only the defense of the troop, so versus elemental damage is very weak, so Gandalf the White can compensate that. In addition, the evasion of Isildur saved the stack of the White Council, so if you plan to run them as a tank, Isildur gonna benefit a lot from White Council. Another great choice is run Aragorn King of the Men with them, cause also Aragorn benefit from a formation full of men unit. You're gonna have the damage reduction of the R5 when you get CC and also all the benefit on Isildur, and I think the best way for use these 2 commander with men unit is use them together. Then if we talk about commander that counter Isildur, the first thing in my mind is the elemental damage, that cause Isildur don't have any reduction versus elemental damage, and also cause a lot of commander that deals elemental damage have pre-battle phase skill, and being very fast gonna ignore also the evasion of Isildur. In conclusion, I think Isildur is a good commander in terms of tank and support. Is not the best of course, cause there's a lot of better option, but at free to play, for example, a Respect 5 gonna hold the line very good. You can have them as a tank support if you have 2 good DPS and 1 good support with them. At very high level I don't suggest to run him in the main formation, but can be useful in a secondary team. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, just smash like on that and also subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Let me know what you think about this build and also what commander you wanna see in the future video. As always, I wanna remember you have an affiliated link with the game that allow you to buy gems from the official site of the game, and if you choose to use my link, the devs gonna recognize me a little commission of what you spend, and you're gonna support directly my channel. You're gonna find the link in the description of the video and also in the first comment. Again, thank you for following me and see you in the next. Woo!